little village in Ireland where my great-great-great-great-grandfather came from. So I'm looking forward to going there and having a pint.
Well, I'm delighted to hear that the President will be coming over to Ireland and that he's taken up the invitation and that he'll be here and that obviously he'll come to Moneygall, and he mentioned Moneygall specifically. He is very genuinely interested in his heritage, as all Americans are. It's a wonderful story, and I know the people of Moneygall are very anxious to make sure that the President will feel very much at home.
My name is Barrack Obama of the Moneygall Obamas.
The great Stephen Neal, a great man of God. He proved that Barrack was from the outside.
Well, these are the baptismal records of the church. They show us the two generations of the Carney family. The fourth great-grandparents of the President, Joseph and Phoebe Carney, are listed here as parents of three siblings. We have Mary Ann Carney of Moneygall. Then we have another sibling, William, son of Joseph and Phoebe Carney, also baptised in this church. And then the most interesting record of all, which is the baptismal record of Fulmouth Carney, baptised in 1829 in this church. So with these three entries, which all match the American records, we have definitive proof that Barack Obama came from this parish, and indeed that his ancestors were baptised in this church.
This is Midlands 103 News.
US President Barack Obama will arrive in Ireland on Monday, May 23rd. That's also the day he'll visit Moneygall in County Offaly. He'll spend 24 hours here. However, a planned event in Croke Park has been cancelled due to security issues. Liam Dumpleton reports.
Well, it's apparently official. Air Force One will touch down in Ireland on the morning of Monday, May 23rd.
It's the 7th of May, 15 days before President Obama descends on Moneygall. Today, it's been quiet enough, I suppose. We've had a film crew has moved in from a German television crew. I also had an interview with German radio, totally separate.
There you heard an extract from Henry Healy's audio diary, recorded especially for Midlands 103. You'll hear excerpts from this throughout the next hour. But first, Canon Stephen Neal explains Henry VIII's family tree.
Henry is related in that the Healys and the Carneys were intermarried in 1761, and Henry is an eighth cousin of the President. We call him Henry VIII around these parts. I'm not sure he really likes it, but anyway, that's what we call him. And Henry has done a huge amount of work in terms of publicising the link, and indeed he and I both travelled over to the United States to the inauguration.
My first reaction was, who is Senator Obama? I'd never heard of him. He was an up-and-coming, obviously, through the Democratic Party, and but at that time Hillary Clinton was the lady. She was taking the nomination and no one was going to get it from her. Then discovering that he was from Moneygall and that we had the shared ancestry, began obviously to get interested in the story.
I did 30 interviews in one day on my first day, and since then it's been a roller coaster. But it's not just about what might affect on me. The whole area has benefited from it. There's been huge excitement, and I think it's distracted us from the economic woes which we're also burdened by in this country, and it's given us a different story and a good news story.
The only thing in Moneygall was traffic, up and down, traffic, and we were looking forward to nothing, only a bypass. That was all we were looking forward to for years, this bypass that would come, and Moneygall would be bypassed, and we'd have a bit of peace in the village from traffic. Because the traffic, while there was a lot of traffic, it was only passing traffic, it wasn't much good for the village, really. People that you would meet, and you'd say, you're from Moneygall, and they'd say, oh, yeah, where's this, that is? Oh, yes. Oh, yeah, I'll show you, if you sneezed, you'd be gone through that place. And that's how they described it. But now they're coming to it especially, because since they heard about Barack Obama.
I suppose it was really a very quiet village. The only significance was, I suppose, it was on the main road from Dublin to Limerick. So that was a bit of a nuisance at times with the heavy traffic through. But generally it was like any other little village, mainly background of farming community for most of them, and then in more recent years, I suppose, many of those have got out of farming and are working in factories in Roscrea and Nina, elsewhere. But really a typical small Irish village, I think.
I suppose it hasn't changed that much, really. I suppose the people who live on the street have, unfortunately, some of them have died and just new people have come in. Basically, the street structure hasn't changed. It's the same now as it was when I was a kid. We have an additional 2 estates around the village, all right, not like other villages around the country. I guess other than that, the same faces are there, the same people and the same structures. We're just a quiet village, no main claim to fame. I suppose like any other rural village, we have our hurling club and our soccer club and our other gun club and things like that, and people just carried on with their way of life the same as every place else. Nothing extraordinary, just same ding dong, same as every place else.
It's quite nice, small village with very nice, quiet people. There was a nice atmosphere here, and there was great characters. But now we're in a new era with this President Obama.
Motorway is lacking in services for people to go to the toilet, buy a few goods and get fuel for their car, and their people are coming in here to the pub looking for fuel at the moment. We're sending them to Toomevara.
Today it's been a busy day. We've had Pat McDonough of Supermax down with us all day. He's putting together a promotional DVD for the area to send out to his 15 chain of bars across the United States.
Not only is Pat McDonough promoting Moneygall abroad, he's also building a travel plaza just off the M7. A petrol station, Supermax, Papa John's, food court and a shop are all contained in the €7 million development planned for Moneygall. And he's naming it after Barack Obama.
We certainly have it planned to open by early 2012. Obviously there's a huge amount of work on construction, and there's actually roundabouts to be installed first. So that will happen hopefully, or will begin obviously after the President's visit. We're not going to go rooting around before he comes. So it'll happen probably inside the next 2 months, the initial stage of putting in the roundabouts, etc. And then after that we'll be starting the construction hopefully once we go through all the kind of the procedures that are needed, the pre-requirements, health and safety and one thing and another that are necessarily put in place first. We obviously have got nothing but encouragement and welcome since we came here, and we're delighted with the response on that. I think it'll help the village, as I said, tremendously, because instead of immigrating, I think there will be jobs locally, and not alone in just this project, but I think there's other opportunities in the second stages of this project and even in further developments, because it's not every village in the country gets the honour of having a president, coming to visit the place, especially the US president, who's probably regarded as the most influential in the world. So I think that the Moneygall as a whole can really benefit from this, and it's up to the people of the locality as well to push that forward and to make it happen.
Press today have released in the Irish Independent that Offaly County Council intends only to release 1,000 tickets to the people of Moneygall, and this news it's fairly disheartening for a lot of people in the village who had hoped to bring family and friends. For people outside the village, in the surrounding areas, the parish, they're quite disappointed that this is the stance that has been released that in the papers, but hopefully it's only speculation, and a delegation from Moneygall will be making representation to the County Council.
The biggest excitement at the moment is the whole clean-up that's going on, all in expectation of the big visit that's coming up.
Moneygall National School Principal Eugene Ryan is not only excited about the facelift, he also has a very personal reason to look forward to the visit.
Sometime in the 1980s, my father wrote a history of the parish, and he passed a brilliant comment which I think is very much in line with what has happened. He said, there's no final history, because somebody will unearth something that historians haven't found before. And he passed away in 2007, and a couple of months later we heard the story of Obama. The history of Obama coming back to Moneygall, going back since the 1800s, 1700s. He knew nothing about that. And that's a wonderful new bit of history that we have, and look at the good that's coming to the community from it.
The village is getting a facelift. The two churches, the Catholic Church and our own church down in Temple Harry, is getting a facelift. The people are getting a facelift.
People are so happy. They're much more involved. They can't, even if it's only out to sweep a footpath or pick up litter or something, people want to do it. It's brought us a huge life back to the community in Moneygall, and again we're able to escape from the IMF and the EU bailout. We're not talking about it. We've even forgotten that the Queen is visiting nearly, and she's only a stone's throw away in Cashel. She's going to be visiting there, so. We're probably living in a little world of our own, I suppose, at this stage, but we're definitely enjoying it.
Whether it was a PR ploy or simple generosity, Dulux incorporated Moneygall into its Let's Colour project. They donated over €30,000 worth of paint to the village. Colour consultant with Dulux is Cora Collins.
What I've been trying to do is just kind of follow it in the traditional Irish townscape style. So what I'm kind of very aware of is balancing colours, and I'm trying to make it look as if it evolved naturally, as colours do in a town. I suppose the problem for me with Moneygall is there's so much dashing, and it's very brown and beige and grey, and people like it and they want to keep it, and so therefore I'm getting very little opportunity to introduce colour.
There was a rumour that the whole village was going to be red, white and blue. That's not the case.
I think that was a joke. But there is red in the village, and there is white in the village, and there is blue in the village. That's all I can say on that.
I think it's great, and especially our house has to be painted before, so this is all with Barack Obama coming, and yeah, we're delighted.
Very good. Not much in the difference. The inside is cream and the windows are reddish, but they have a nicer red than the red we have on. It really will look good.
I think it's a brilliant idea, especially houses that are, haven't been painted for years. They look very well.
Then it went immediately to getting the flagpoles and the flags ready. So approximately 200 children raised 100 flags. We had 2 kids to a pole. One untied the flag, the other raised it, and it was nice. It was brilliant to see the kids partaking in the festivities. As I spoke to the kids afterwards, I told them all that what they were after doing was quite historic. They actually raised a flag that the President of the United States is actually going to pass by. He will probably see it, and they can always tell the story that they rose a flag for the President of the United States. It's a nice part for the kids to play, and it was definitely made the day for us.
While the rest of Ireland is engrossed in talk of interest rates and bailout deals, some commentators question the benefit of the visit and the overall cost to the Exchequer. However, local publican Ollie Hayes says it's money well spent.
The boost we got is unbelievable. And they talk about the costs. Where's the cost? The cost is in security. The cost is to the Gardaí. The cost is into the council. All them costs go down into someone's pocket. Let it be a man in a guard, or let it be a county council official. It doesn't matter who has the security people. If they have to work overtime, if I have to take on extra bar staff, they all get a few pound out of it. So them costings all go back down into the ordinary man's purse. He'll spend it again in the economy. So I don't consider it a cost. We're taking up footpaths here. Okay, we're replacing them. There's a contractor, he's benefiting, he's 5 or 6 men there employed. He's paying their tax on PRSI, that's going back into the Exchequer. Don't ever worry about costs.
Stephen Dillon here, and work for Elsport Limerick. We're doing football, the footpaths, most of the footpaths anyway, and there's flagpoles go up, there's curbs, tarmac, a lot amount of cleaning up going on. Like, we're down here, we're work for us anyway. There's the shops are busy because we're here. There's 6 or 8 of us. There's 6 of us here today, like more. There's work going on everywhere, like between the painters and everything,
While the village was gradually transforming over the last couple of weeks, I did see the changes, and the change in the mood of the people as well. It's just been fantastic, really has. There's always something new, like be it a sign going up in the shop, or be it barrels of flowers left out in the pavements. There's always something new.
Following President Obama's announcement, 3 previously vacant shop units found a new lease of life. An Siopa Beag is run by Mary Fanning. She sells commemorative mugs produced by Shannon Bridge Pottery and local arts and crafts. The Obama Cafe is the village's first eatery, while what was once Mossy Hayes' sweet shop is now the home of Mr. Stitch Print and Embroidery, run by local entrepreneur
Billy Hayes.
They're all Obama themed t-shirts, we're doing t-shirts, hoodies. It's for the visit. The little unit here at the front is all going to be Obama stuff for the visit, but in the back is where printing and embroidery will be done anyway. That's a business that's not just set up for Obama. It's Mr. Stitch Printing Embroidery, and that's running for over a year now. So basically we said it was a great chance to put the equipment out there and then run a shop from the front selling the merchandise. So once we heard the news came, I inquired about the shop, and luckily enough it was free. This shop has a big history in the village. It used to be Mossy's shop, and we all grew up here. It was an old sweet shop. Every generation spent their youth in the back of Mossy's kitchen. I worked here when I was younger. My sister worked here. Henry would have worked here. All our cousins would have worked here. It's a kind of a shop where everyone in the village knows it, and everyone in the village is mad to come in and see and talk, and you get very little work done at times. It's a lot of chatting, but the people are friendly around here, and they're happy to see it opened again. It's great. It's been 2 years since it was open. So all our designs have been done and designed in Moneygall, and all the t-shirts are printed in Moneygall as well. So we don't get all the work is done from here. We just get in the t-shirts and we do all the printing ourselves.
This evening I just got a phone call from Alan Kelly, the local TD and junior minister for Moneygall. He phoned me. He just had concerns over the leaked information to the Irish Independent. So we have. He asked if he could meet me this evening. So I've agreed actually to meet him at 9 o'clock tonight. The junior minister has informed me that he has spent over 5 hours dealing with phone calls in regards to invitations to the village. It's put an inundated pressure on politicians, both local and national, and of course on ourselves, because of this information coming out that it's going to be by invitation or ticket allocation only. So people are beginning, I suppose, maybe to slightly panic that they won't get to experience one of the most historic events that's going to happen in this century, I suppose, or this side of the decade. And hopefully when we sit down with the minister, he'll be able to give us a better understanding of actually what is going to happen.
My name is Barack Obama of the Moneygall Obamas. And I've come home to find the apostrophe that we lost somewhere along the way. Now, I knew that I had some roots across the Atlantic, but until recently I could not unequivocally claim that I was one of those Irish Americans. But now, if you believe the Corrigan brothers, there's no one more Irish than me. The small town where a young shoemaker named Fomuth Kearney, my great-great-great-grandfather, my grandfather's grandfather, lived his early life. And I was shown the records from the parish recording his birth. And we saw the home where he lived.
Wow, things were really moving today. Got up this morning and there was a delegation walking around the village, and I had a couple of phone calls, people asking me was it Secret Service and what have you. Again, I didn't know. I'm not informed if these people are coming, but there was individuals walking around. They walked around, looked at the ancestral home.
John O'Donovan is the owner of the now famous house which stands on the main street in Moneygall. It was once the home to Fomuth Kearney, who departed for America in 1850.
The house was bought in the 50s with a parcel of land, which wasn't unusual for the village at the time, because it seemed to be the done thing that there were houses in the village that came with a parcel of land, and so we've always rented it. It is as it is. We wouldn't have ever modernised the house because of the fact that we rented it, and basically, like a lot of people who rent houses, you don't tend to spend a lot of money on them because They're only transient, really. People are only moving in there for 6 months to move on to their own house, and so you keep the facilities basic. So with the result, actually, there's quite a lot of old features in the house. You can actually see the gable end on the outside where the old structure was and where they extended it upwards. There's 2 iron bars in the house running from front to back with a washer on the back and a nut holding the single-storey structure together, typical of a single-storey structure that would have had a storey put onto it to stop the walls from spreading. So basically it's a kind of an old house that has never been modernised. Timber floors, the old wooden windows. I'm not exactly sure what kind of timber it is, but they have surely stood the test of time. The old doors, the old panel doors, the upstairs, the windows in the front of the house where the ceiling, it's like as if there was only actually a half a storey put onto it. The ceiling curves at both sides, and the window frames actually, or the frames around the window jut into the room. The old even light switches, the little black light switches are there. The old door handles on the bedroom doors are there, and as I said, the timber floors and the timber ceilings. It was attached house at that time, so I mean obviously when the extra storey was put onto it, I'm not exactly sure.
It's the 10th of May, Tuesday, and we have only 13 days left until the President's arrival. This morning I started up early and went to a meeting at 8:30 with members of our own committee in Offaly County Council. Once the meeting had concluded, we walked outside and RTE were there, German television crew, which were expected, and the Daily Telegraph from the UK and Tourism Ireland were there to record a piece. It was sort of being pulled left, right and centre for a while. We met with them all, and phone calls. I was inundated with phone calls from BBC, TV3, Al Jazeera television. It has been just a really, really busy day.
In the presence we have the media. Now, one time, one of the most feared person in the community was the parish priest. But I can tell you that the media are as equally as feared.
Andrew Simmons, correspondent for Al Jazeera English international news channel. It's great to be doing a good news story. It certainly is. A beautiful village. The people have got a fantastic sort of attitude to all of this. So it's a pleasure to be doing this sort of story.
I'm Julie Jameau and I work for AFP, Agence France Presse. I've been asked to come to Moneygall to see how the village is getting ready for Obama's visit, because of course anything related to Obama is kind of news-wise, it's quite of interesting, and also it's a nice feature story. Everybody here getting ready for Obama, and all this fame that it has brought to his village is really fun.
In recent times, we've all been covering the financial crisis here in Ireland, and international press hasn't always been of good news stories.
Well, you've hit on the right note there. I covered the financial crisis here, the doom and gloom. You could feel the cold atmosphere everywhere you went in Dublin at the time, and indeed over the rest of the Republic. So really, this is a good news story. It's always grabbing for the viewer to get something along these lines. And of course, you know, you look at a tiny village like this and the might of the US machine coming here. We saw the G-men today popping into the pub. It is a colossal event for this village, and it's a major international event for the world in seeing his family roots retraced.
Yeah, last time we were covering the meltdown, the financial meltdown. Then we were covering the election, which was still about the economic crisis, and we did stories about all the houses that are not sold or empty. So it's quite nice to talk about Ireland in a different way, in a happy way, and to show beautiful village, people who are happy, cheering, and you know.
I mean, I covered the Kenya connection. I used to work out of Nairobi. That was a massive affair. It actually transformed a whole region of Kenya. This is a very different matter, of course, because you're looking here at a country that's very different to Kenya, but in its own way, just as important in the sense that it gives the people here a sense of belonging, and you can see it in their faces. It's really quite uplifting. I think the impact of Barack Obama's distant relations with this small village will have a colossal impact, certainly in terms of tourism, because it just puts it on the agenda. You see the news stories coming out of Ireland of a different nature. Of course, we've got the visit of the Queen, which is a different thing entirely, more security concern, it would seem, over that than the US President being here. But I think in this instance, you've got a story which will dominate above the diplomacy and the politics and all the other demands on the whole state machine in Washington, D.C. right now. But this is really an international news story with some lift, and it will definitely project Ireland in a very positive way throughout the world.
Today's Wednesday, the 11th of May. This morning began in the Shelburne Hotel on Stephen's Green. It was a morning where we were treated quite well, and Guinness had put us up in the Shelburne Hotel, and anything we wanted we could have had, and it was different, to say the least. Gavin Duffy met us, obviously, and he drilled us. I thought for the last 4 years I had managed the media well. I had got on fine with them all, and as I'm sure did everyone else receiving the training. But he caught me, and he drilled me, and exposed a weakness or highlighted a weakness where, on my part, where I allowed the interviewer to lead the interview away from the visit of President Obama, and hit on personal areas, and I received guidance then from Gavin Duffy on how to avoid this happening again. So I'm confident that I can dodge the dodgy questions and be prepared. It's all about keeping the bright side out. My voice is nearly gone from doing the various interviews, be it print media or for foreign media, but it's something that I've noticed a difference in, and probably during the recordings over the last couple of days a difference could be noted in it as well. So I'm conscious that maybe I should be resting my voice and ensuring that when the interviews come up front to me, that I ensure that I have the voice to portray Moneygall in the right manner, and ensure that the community which has backed Barack Obama from day one gets a fair hearing in the international press. We're down into the final hours now before the visit, and everyone here is really excited.
It has brought a closeness that had been disappearing. It is a brilliant place to live, brilliant community. If you're in trouble, there's nowhere like Moneygall. Neighbours, friends, just rally round everybody. But in recent years, that was going. Everybody was too busy. Whereas now, you go out in the street, you meet somebody, you don't get back in for half an hour, and you're chatting away again like we did 30 years ago.
Barack Obama's visit was a late birthday present for local publican Julia Hayes. She's seen a lot of changes in the County Offaly village over the years.
It's marvellous. It's really blooming. I'm just looking out my window at the moment now, and the last of them are painting the houses. Has come to the last day nearly for painting, and I hope the weather keeps up for the rest of the month.
Did you think Barack Obama would come to Moneygall?
Really, I did not. There's no use in saying anything else. I said, no way would he come to a small little place like this. But, my gosh, I was wrong. I was wrong. There's no use in saying it. And we're all on a high. Everyone, no matter who they are, young and old. It's marvellous. It's marvellous. There's no use in saying it.
You celebrated a very significant birthday
I don't
recently.
mind. I always said if I got to 80 that I'd retire and put my feet up. But honest to God, I can't now. My heart won't allow me. I just can't retire, and I'll keep going as long as I can.
Wow, what a roller coaster today. Started off with a meeting about our commemorative booklet in the National School. We met there around 9 o'clock this morning, and followed by that I had a phone call from the Tourism Ireland group asking would I mind if they forwarded my details to American radio stations for Thursday, that they wanted myself and Canon Neil, I suppose, to act sort of spokespeople on behalf of the people of Moneygall and of the Shannon region to promote the area to the Americans. So it was an honour, I suppose, to be asked to do that, so we gladly accepted.
The local Obama committee, as we could call them, are producing a booklet for the visit, and on that they just have a simple walk through Moneygall, which is explaining some background to the houses that are here and some significant history attached to some of those houses, and hopefully that could be expanded upon.
Things are definitely coming to a head now, thank God. We had a council meeting at 2:30, confirmed the tickets, and the ticket distribution would be strictly for the parish and the locals of Moneygall, and that the gig would go ahead with the High Kings after the President leaves. So all that was confirmed, and people were thrilled that this headache and this issue has now been resolved, and that that the press release would go out, and that would end speculation and give us quite a lot of relief.
The title of our book here is The Long Journey Home, and by God, it has been one great journey for the people of Moneygall.
I think one of the most important things about this book that you have in front of you is that it captures the spirit of this place, and it tells the story, and there are contributions from so many people here. But it's not just the people who wrote the articles. It's, in a sense, this book wrote itself, because it was the spirit of the people of Moneygall that is infused in this book and inspired all of us who were on the committee and were privileged to be involved in this to produce what is within its pages.
We'll call on Henry VIII.
It's just to echo, I suppose, what Councillor Ormond and Canon Neil have said. There has been a tremendous amount of work done in our community, and to see the spirit that has been raised over the past couple of weeks has really lifted our spirits here. Canon Neil and myself have been here for the last 4 years, I suppose, trying to push and emphasise how Irish Barack Obama is, and we even got a song written about it. Because of ye, the President is coming to Moneygall, and it is the people of Moneygall that he wants to meet. It is a personal visit for him. And guys, when he arrives here on Monday, we won't have anyone here to tell you he's landing in the street. We'll give him one hell of a cheer and give him a memory no other Irish American president has ever got.
Hold your breath. Make a wish. Count to 3.
It's like the sun brings happiness, and in Moneygall he's the sun.
Come with me, and you'll be in a world of pure imagination.
Got the golden ticket. I've got ticket number 1. Delighted that the council staff and the Gardaí requested that myself and Canon Neil be brought in first to get the first 2 tickets. So Canon Neil has ticket 1, and I've ticket 1 and Canon Neil has ticket 2. So they're definitely something that we'll be cherishing for a long time.
Some people have queued for over 2 hours today. However, it's expected that will turn into several hours later when people from the surrounding parish begin to get in line. With 4 days to go, what once was a pipe dream is becoming more and more a reality.
Just after getting my tickets, and it's absolutely brilliant, I came out dancing out of the hall there.
Just a few announcements. First of all, tomorrow afternoon, President Barack Obama will arrive in Moneygall. Hope as many people as possible.
The pressure is unreal since early morning. I haven't had a chance even to get in near a shower yet.
I'm just amazing here, just waiting to go on to do another radio programme. They're waiting for me as well. It's unbelievable the demand that's been put on us, but we're enjoying every minute of it because, as I said, it's a good news story, and especially we're delighted to share it with the Midlands Radio.
Welcome home, Mr. President. Thank you. Welcome home. You're very welcome. It's great to see you. Welcome.
I have been told that it makes a difference who the person behind the bar is. I mean, that people are very particular about who is pouring. Yeah, that's right. Your Guinness. Am I right about that? The perfect pint. So, can people vouch for this guy?
Yeah.
You like it, Mr. President? This is good stuff. It's delicious. It's a good drink. And I realized it tastes so much better here than it does in the States. And no, but what I realized was that you guys are, you're keeping all the best stuff here. So, I am very impressed. It is delicious. It is wonderful.
Even without filling them a drink, just the fact they walked into the pub and then to fill the drink and then to have a full-blown conversation with them and then for the First Lady to actually look to fill a pint. It's just been unbelievable. We started off this morning, I got up very early, we had a search team in here and the place is upside down and inside out and it was like, oh my God. And the weather, and I was like, said to Magella, I said, oh my God, the weather, but no one's spirits are dampened here tonight, Moneygall, because we put a package together, it happened, and the fruits of it are there today. It's down to Henry and Stephen to start with, for getting that man here, and Dan Rooney today. He caught my hand and he says, I told you he'd come.
Mary Fanning is the proprietor of the now famous Shoppa Beag in Moneygall, where the President and First Lady went shopping.
He just sprinted in, really. That's the way he came in. And he just said, hello, how are you? And we welcomed him in. And he said, oh, the shop was lovely. And we told him about all the different things we had in it. And we had asked his own security team, first of all, could we present him with the Shannon Bridge set of Delph? And they said, why not? And then he told Michelle that he wanted to buy something for her mother, for his mother-in-law. And she was laughing at him. She said, at least you're thinking of her this time. So he bought her Shannon Bridge pottery as well and a few other bits and pieces that went round the shop. He purchased 6 mugs and sugar bowl and milk jug in a presentation box. He was even helping me to put it into a bag.
Out of curiosity, does Barack Obama carry a money clip or is it a wallet?
Cash, €50 notes. He had €50 notes in his pocket.
It was a very moving experience, a day that I knew would come, but it was surpassed all my expectations. I was very nervous. About 10 minutes before he came in, I was actually really quite nervous about what I was going to say and what was going to happen. As soon as they walked into the pub, those nerves evaporated, and it was just such a really enjoyable experience. They came over to me, they asked me to show them the records, and I showed the records to the President and the First Lady, and the President shouted over to his White House photographer, he said, you've got to come over and see this. Bring the camera, we've got to have a shot of this. I spoke to the First Lady for a couple of minutes about how these records show that we were all connected and all related, and she gave me a big hug and a kiss, and I'll not be washing my face for a while.
It's been confirmed by the White House press office the President and the First Lady conducted their longest walkabout to date in the County Offaly village, spending 45 minutes shaking hands. And he surprised the audience and media alike by picking up not 1 but 3 babies. The parents of 6-week-old Darren O'Dwyer are proud Mr Obama shared the celebrations with their child.
We were just at the front of the barrier and Barrack and Michelle came along and I was first and I just shook hands with both of them and hugged Michelle actually, and then my mother was next and then my brother, and Dennis was a few people down, and a few seconds later I looked over and Barrack was holding Darren, but what happened was Dennis just held her up and he came forward and picked her up, and he was chatting away to Dennis for a few minutes. I was too starstruck to talk, I was speechless, but Dennis was able to chat away to him anyway.
Just said to me, how old is she? And I said, she's just gone 6 weeks old. I said to him, she's been waiting all day to see the President, to see us. So he was okay. I can see that she's really excited to meet me anyway, because she was absolutely fast asleep. He said, she's gorgeous anyway, and Michelle said the same, and she just handed him back to me then. he moved on. And then I got hugs from Michelle, which made my day.
Earlier today, Michelle and I visited Moneygall, where we saw my ancestral home and dropped by the local pub, and we received a very warm welcome from all the people there, including my long-lost 8th cousin, Henry. Henry now is affectionately known as Henry VIII.
It's been a spectacular evening here in Moneygall. Michelle Obama came to me first and she said, "Henry, I believe you're a relative, you're part of the family." And the President then came over and said, I said, "Mr. President, you're very welcome back to your ancestral home." And he said, "I believe you're my cousin, Henry VIII." The President and the First Lady were so easy to talk to. They were genuinely down-to-earth people.
Remember that whatever hardships the winter may bring, springtime's always just around the corner. And if they keep on arguing with you, just respond with a simple creed. Is Vaderling? Yes, we can. Yes, we can. Is Vaderling?
People years and years ago would say, "Where's Moneygall?" And by God, they won't have to ask now where Moneygall is.
I just hope that the people of Offaly and the people of the region were proud of Moneygall and that we represented the county well.